Happy thoughts, y'all. It's such a beautiful day. I thought I'd do it outside. Welcome to the world according to Bob. I don't need your approval. I don't need your approval. We're talking about Swamp Thing today. And, and what I thought of the show, and how disappointed I am that no one else is talking about how they ended, and my idea for a Shadow Pack spinoff, and I don't know, a bunch of other things. All about Swamp Thing now. Um, okay, one of the things I forgot to point out in my review of the Swamp Thing last week, the Walmart Swamp Thing last week. I feel weird saying that, but that's where I got it from. Was that there actually, if they were to split Swamp Thing like they did Superman and make every run of Swamp Thing on a different Earth, there have been exactly like 3 Swamp Things, but they haven't done that yet. They haven't made a Swamp Thing for a different Earth. And the book had like 2 different storylines all running simultaneously, and they had those real neat recaps that I did mention in the video. But yeah, there it was a different era of time. So this covers the closer, not exactly modern day, because they haven't gotten that far yet, but if given a chance, this series definitely could go that far. And I can't emphasize this enough to every single one of you. Stay for the end. Treat it like it was a Marvel movie. I will be spoiling what happens at the end. I mean, they really don't solve what happens to poor Blue Devil. They could have him hang out with the rest of the Shadow Pack, Phantom Stranger. They could have the statue. They have yet to build those statues in The Flash. I mean, after the death of Superman, for all you classic comic book fans, I know I got quite a few of those watching me, but for all you classic comic book fans, after the death of Superman, they built the statue, and if DC was real, it'd be like a huge memorial. There'd be like a huge memorial to all the dead heroes. And Shadow Pact, in that story that I kind of covered, kind of didn't, because it was my first time doing it, they built the statue, but they all came back. And they were like, well, that's nice. They built the statue. That's nice. They built a statue of us. Check it out. And then Detective Chimp was constantly trying to bum a smoke. I would love to see Detective Chimp in live action. Get someone like Alan Cumming to do the voice. Nightcrawler. That'd be funny. You know, a fine, distinguished British actor. Yeah. Anyway, but they didn't explain what happened. Getting back on track here, they didn't explain what happened to Blue Devil. They just showed him leaving Murray, or Morietta. It might have taken place in Morietta, Georgia, but yeah, you finally felt for him. He was afraid he would never get to leave the town, and you didn't get to see him transform into Blue Devil, which, like I said, definitely could happen in a Shadow Pack TV show, which I think they should do. Um, the one I felt the most sorry for was yeah um Sunderland's wife. How she finally gets to be with her daughter, but at the same time, the problem's not really solved because she's stuck in a fantasy land. Yeah, I felt sorry for the poor woman. Um, Kind of made me question if Madame Xanadu is supposed to be evil in this rendition. You don't get to find out what happens to Woodrue till the very, very end, like I said. Mom didn't know who Woodrue was supposed to be originally, did you, Mom?
No, still don't.
He was in the Harley Quinn movie. Yeah, which Watchtower Database says is totally canon.
So what was he in the Harley Quinn?
He was the Floronic Man.
Oh, but no, you just said
Woodrue was.
Woodrue. Okay, I was thinking.
You thought I was talking about Sunderland.
Yes, sorry. Okay.
Sunderland kind of reminded us all of J.R. Ewing. Didn't he remind you of J.R.? I mean, inevitably, they're both ending up in the same place. One pollutes the land, the other. Yeah. And getting back to Sunderland now, he's sick. If they do a second one, he's going to die. They're going to kill him off. I mean, that's if.
Because he had that green coming out of him.
Yeah. His last words were, "What the heck?" Yeah. Only he didn't say heck. Yeah.
But you think that's because he got stuck in the swamp there?
It is.
And
I do.
Tried to kill him?
It is. I do.
I think they killed off too many people that they're not going to have a second season.
Like I said, they didn't. I couldn't help but notice they didn't solve what happened to Blue Devil.
No, they didn't solve what happened to Blue Devil. Like you said, Mrs. Sunderland was in the crazy house. Sunderland's gonna die. They didn't say what happened to Abby.
Yeah. They could have them on the Legends of Tomorrow with Swamp Thing, or not Swamp Thing, Constantine. Yeah. Constantine shows up every once in a while in the Swamp Thing comic book, like she said. Yeah. What else am I missing here? Madame Xanadu, I'd like to figure out if she's evil. I know.
I didn't see her in there. Was she in it?
She's the one that gave Mrs. Sunderland the gift of being with her daughter.
Oh, I missed it. Okay.
So anyway, that excites me because of Resurrection Man, and I'm a big fan of Resurrection Man, big time. think he could be like his superhero Quantum Leap. They could definitely do that. Yeah, it sets up beautifully for TV. I know they're doing a Titan season 2, and I know they're doing Stargirl still, and Harley Quinn, which may or may not be canon to the DC universe, the animated universe. It may just take place in Justice League War continuity, which I'm curious to see what Watchtower Database thinks of that. I'm gonna ask them. So also I'd like to briefly talk about what they're doing with the Millennium event in the comic book. How they're gonna bring back Rip Hunter, and how they said to my I got an answer to my letter back in the day. They said to my letter that Rip Hunter was the same guy in every single one of his appearances, which I don't know if they're still sticking with that. I gotta remember to do a video on that eventually. Bob of the future, figure it out. Note to self, do one on Rip Hunter. I'd love to see him in the Legends of Tomorrow capacity as well. Also, if anybody watches Suits, give me a good. Is it good? Let me know. Yeah. What are your thoughts on what's going to happen to Swamp Thing? Is he going to end up in Legends of Tomorrow? Is he going to end up in where is he going to end up? Is he going to show up in Stargirl? I just thought of that, Mom. He could show up in Stargirl too. The last not animated live DC thing for the DC streaming service. He could show up in Stargirl, and that could connect the whole thing.
Who's supposed to be in Stargirl?
I don't know. The guy from Legally Blonde. He's also from that idiot movie that Dad likes. The one where they're all stupid in the future. And he's the he ends up being the president. But he's the smartest guy. He's the smartest guy around. But he's really an idiot. And if you all know what movie I'm describing, you can talk about that too. Really appreciate all your feedback. Thanks a lot. Thanks again. Have a good week, everybody. Appreciate the love. Bob out.